Selamat siang rekan-rekan industri logam yang ada di Bali. Mungkin bisa dicoba untuk suara dan gambarnya.
你的资料好像没有硬体的档案。
我刚
你拿我的？
没有，我拿我的。
所以你去。
你再放。
Selamat siang rekan-rekan industri logam yang ada di Bali.
Selamat siang, Bapak Ibu.
Ya.
Apakah suara kami dari Bali bisa terdengar dengan jelas?
Sudah Pak, sudah terdengar dengan jelas. Gambarnya juga sudah muncul di layar.
Oh baik, selamat siang Pak Wingky.
Siang Pak Yosef.
Terima kasih Pak Wingky.
Ya, sama-sama.
Selamat siang Pak Yosef. This is Winnie Wu.
Selamat siang Mrs. Winnie.
Hello. Would you like to play your slides? So we can see the slides can run smooth later. Okay?
Okay. Good afternoon, Mrs. Winnie. Can you hear my voice from Bali?
Yes, very clear.
Very clear. Okay. Your voice from Taipei maybe can test.
Okay. Okay. Wait a moment. I'll ask the both to speak. 常佑，你们现在在现场吗
Hello， 是放台北。
Hello, can you hear my colleague involved? His voice?
Can you repeat again?
Hello， 是放台北。
常用你的手机。
I think there is lag on his voice.
Sorry, I cannot hear you.
Yes, I think from the BOFT voice is there is a lag.
Lagging.
Yes, lagging
Okay.
for the voice. Yes, we cannot hear clearly.
常佑他说那个我们这边听不太清楚你们的声音。
你好 ，Hello。
我觉得有一点小声呢。
有点小声啊。
有一点小声，你们那边设备要不要再调一下？Sorry, they are adjusting the volume of the voice. Please wait a moment.
Bu.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, it's more clearly than before.
Okay, we can.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Winnie. Terima kasih Pak Wingky.
Ya, sama-sama. Bu Winnie, maybe you can switch the pin participant for the IETO.
Sorry, I cannot understand.
The participant that shown on the screen, the pin participant that should be shown on the screen should be the IETO Taipei.
Okay, but I'm not in control of the PowerPoint, but I can tell the both. OK， 常佑，那个刚刚那个野头的 Winky 说可以把那个你们的跟那个印尼方的那个组团的两个把它用 pin 弄起来，应该是说等一下如果致辞的时候应该要有你那边会会 pin 吗？
我等一下，
应该是等一下哦。
这样的，我刚有设定。
OK， 这边 OK 了。
哦，对，因为
OK， Hello Park Winky. The both already pin the screen for both and the Ministry of Industry from Indonesia. Is it okay?
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Pak Winky, izin.
Thằng Nhung.
Iya, Pak Yosef.
Mungkin nanti minta dibantu di ke pihak Taiwan juga. Nanti ada dua narasumber kita, ada 3 yang bergabung di luar venue ya Pak ya. Itu nanti dengan Pak Direktur, terus dari Asosiasi ISIA sama dari BKF Pak. Nanti mereka bergabung melalui MS Team juga, tidak bergabung di venue Bali.
Oh gitu, jadi Pak Direktur juga tidak di venue ya?
Iya Pak, benar Pak.
Oke.
常佑，请问一下，那等等，如果轮到那个大使跟那个Yeto 跟那个 Tato 的代表致辞的时候，你们那边会再重新再聘吗
OK，
会吗？
对，我们就那个设为标点那个功能。
他什么？
就是把它精选的那个功能嘛，对。
对你们那边会再弄吗？
好。
OK， 好，那我知道了，我再跟那个Yeto Winky 讲一下。Hello Winky, Park Winky. Right now the both is pinned the screen for the both and the Ministry of Industry from Indonesia. So later, when it is turned for the representative from Yeto and Tato, the both will change to pin the screen for Yeto and Tato.
Yes, Bu Winnie, I just got information from Pak Yosef that the director of metal industry, Pak Lilik, will join online, not from the venue. That's the first, and there are 2 speakers that also will join online that will not join from the venue. One from the IICA, the Indonesia Industry of Steel Association.
Okay.
And from the Ministry of Finance.
Okay.
They will join online. And they also will have some comment on the one of the agenda.
Oh, sorry, I cannot catch the last sentence.
Yes. Those two speakers.
Yep.
Will make a brief response.
Yes.
In one of the agenda, I think,
yes.
For the Ministry of Finance on the 4.3.
Yeah.
About the BMDTP and the IIAsia on the agenda 4.5.
Wait a moment. Agenda. Wait a moment.
Okay.
新增焦点。
那种
取消
它能这样，
对，
然后新增哦。
Hello, Mrs. Winnie, Pak
Hello.
Winky.
From
yes. IICA, maybe for the agenda number 3.
Number 4.
Number 3.
Agenda number 3. Oh yes. Sorry.
Okay, so the agenda item number 3
yes.
And agenda item of number what?
4.3. 4.1.
4.
Yes.
Agenda item number 3 and number 4.3, right?
Yes, the speaker will join online, not from the venue.
I see. Okay, I see. So let me repeat again that the host, Lady Guidodo, will join online, and also the speaker of agenda number 3 and 4.3 will join online as well.
Yes, sure.
Okay, thank you. I'll report to my supervisor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
常佑先跟您讲一下，你有在线上吗？喂，常佑。
晚上你刚有
Hello， 常佑，我现在那个 Juke 报告好了。
那个印尼的 PDF 没有那个升级。
有。
用什么安装知道？你要它的连什么例子？
这个吧。你把这个在这个。
明天打开。还有那个反倾销的那个，
好像我刚刚是听到他第。
等一下，我先打在那个 Juke 上面好了，等我一下。
4.5。
等一下哦，等我一下，我快打好了。
如果是不是谨慎，不是大家努力大，不是让这种的这个，那不是直接的没有大，所以我就今年的对，我就不对，你这样就是这样，加薪都是一定要去。
哦，你说他们。
朋友，你有看到那个 Juke 上面的吗？
公司可以说话了。
有。连线那应该可以啦。
对，就是他们没有在巴厘岛的会场。
哦。
所以会从另外一个地方连线。
OK。
讯设备。想确认的，因为有可能不知道哪一个。
除了英文，好像有东方他们有。
你说是点3。
对，就是在我有对啊，这是地址的。不好意思。
不好意思，你要讲说。
Yes.
Can we try to share screen of the presentation?
Yes, please. You can try showing your slides.
Okay.
没有，是4.5。
It's clearly.
Yes, I can see clearly from my side. 哎，常用你那边可以看到那个简报哦。
Okay.
Can you? Hello, Park Yosef. Can you try the slides one by one?
Okay.
So we can know if it runs smooth.
Okay, we will try to move to second slide.
Yeah, from the first page to the end.
Can you see it clearly?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sampai slide terakhir. Cepetin aja. Sampai cepetin aja. Okay, thank you, Mrs. Winnie.
Okay. Terima kasih.
你把它放到桌面了，
后面
这是档案的吗？
我直接放在，直接打开，还是要放桌面？
我的把
因为有档案，还是你要直接放桌面的？
把它放到，
全放桌面了，
对，就是把它像我刚刚的把它
全部吗？
没有，就是把资料夹拿到桌面了。
这个哦，我懂了，这个吗？
哎，你已经放桌面了。
这个是你那个档案的，
那这个你先退出来看。
哦哦，你要会是真点。嗯，
常佑在吗？贸易局的。
对，我在。
那个刚刚一页头的 Winky 说，因为那个他们的代表在下午4点有事情，所以希望把那个合照移到那个开幕致辞之后，问说这样子可不可以？那再麻烦你们那边再请示一下。
哦，好。
开了。对，麻烦台北尽量同意印尼方的要求，这样子大使也许支持完以后也可以走了，谢谢。
收到。
Selamat siang Pak Lili.
Halo.
Selamat siang Pak Lili.
Halo.
Mrs. Winnie.
Kameranya kelihatan nggak, Sep?
Mrs. Winnie.
Halo.
Mrs. Winnie.
Ya Pak Direktur. Bapak sudah
dengar nggak? Kedengaran nggak suaranya?
Jelas Pak.
Sudah Pak.
Jelas.
Suara Bapak sudah terdengar. Videonya juga sudah muncul.
Oh sudah.
Iya Pak.
Berarti bisa ya gini ya nanti ya?
Siap Pak.
Bisa Pak. Siap Pak.
Terima kasih Pak Dir.
Nanti saya cari tempat. Ini masih di kamar.
Oh, baik Pak.
Saya keluar dulu ya berarti ya.
Baik Pak. Terima kasih Pak Dir.
Siap.
Terima kasih Pak.
克风测试，麦克风测试，麦克风测试，麦克风测试。类似。
各位长官好，我们想试一下那个麦克风声音，请问对面有听到吗？
驻印尼代表处这边有听到。
好，谢谢。
Hello, Park Winky.
Bu Winnie?
Yes, can you hear my voice?
Yes, yes, I can hear your voice.
Yes, and as your request just now, and we agree to have the photo section after the opening remarks.
Okay, thank you, Bu
Okay,
Winnie.
thank you.
没有，它也是居家。
它已经居家了。
对，只是因为这个我们自己看的。
所以这个居家。
对。
可以现在居家跟这个吗？这种居家的意思。
嗯。
有开了开了。
Good afternoon, Mr. Widodo. Do we start the meeting now, or shall we just wait for a few more minutes?
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon.
Yes. Do we start the meeting now, or Mr. Widodo?
Siap. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
I hear your voice.
Yeah. So good afternoon, everyone. We're also very delighted on behalf of Taiwan side to have today's opportunity to convene the 5th Indonesia-Taiwan Steel Dialogue meetings. Today also the Thanksgiving Day. So first of all, I wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. And thank you very much for the all the support and the cooperation shown by Mr. Widodo, Director of Metal Industry, Ministry of Industry, Government of Indonesia. And Taiwan side, we also appreciate these opportunities can invite all the stakeholders in the steel industry to have this annual opportunity to further discuss all the bilateral reciprocal cooperation issues to pursue the mutual interest of the steel industries. And we would like to continue this cooperation on this mechanism year after year and boost the business opportunities for steel industry between our two countries. So first of all, I would like to congratulate Indonesia just completed a very important mission, G20 meetings this year. And also, there's also the worldwide recognition. Indonesia is back on the map, and I believe that in the next decade, it will become more important in the ASEAN and the Asia Pacific, Southeast Asia region. And also on behalf of Bureau of Foreign Trade, I'd like to mention some statistical figures on trade that can help us further understand that Taiwan and Indonesia have a close economic relationship. And also, Indonesia already an important trading partner in Taiwan's new southbound policies. And also, despite the increasing the global inflation and also some uncertainties of economic development, and from January to October this year, total steel trade between Taiwan and Indonesia increased by 6.41% to $2.5 billion, accounting for roughly 20% of the total trade between our two countries. And also the total weight traded reached 1.3 billion metric tons. In addition, cooperation between the upstream and the downstream industry chains enable Taiwan steel importers and also can import more from Indonesia to increase by almost 6% to $2.3 billion. And also Taiwan steel exports to Indonesia also increased by 11.87% to $250 million. So these figures are very solid proof shown that Taiwan and Indonesia right now are important steel trading partners and also industry collaboration countries. We know that steel is the mother of the industries. In recent years, many enterprises in a bid to implement ESG and also pursue high value added and low energy consumption in steel industries. In recent years, especially the increasing awareness of environmental protections has raised the call for green steel, such as steel brackets in solar modules to undergo various environmental tests. So plated steel plays a very important role now and also in the future. And also Indonesia is very abundant in natural and mineral resources indispensable for steel industries. And I believe that Taiwan's enterprises are also very optimistic about the Indonesian market, about all the possibilities to cooperate with Indonesian steel partners. We hope that this bilateral steel dialogue and increased information sharing, exchange, and also on the steel industries can give rise to more investment and technology cooperation between our two countries. So, Mr. Widodo, let's work together to pursue a better future for the steel industry. I first, at this opening, wish today's conference a very good success. Thank you. Terima kasih. Now, over to you. So, Mr. Widodo, can I also invite you to have your opening remarks?
Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. Greetings to all of us. Our respectful greeting go out to the Taiwan delegation, Mr. Guang Zile, Deputy Director General, Bureau of Foreign Trade, Ministry of Economic Affairs, Mr. Chung Chen, Head of Taipei Economic and Trade Office in Jakarta, Mr. Sang Gunchang, Section Chief, Industrial Development Bureau, Jia Xiu, Deputy Representative, Economic Division Taipei Economic and Culture Center in Indonesia, Mr. Alex Chen, Secretary General, Taiwan Steel and Iron Industry Association, and the entire Taiwan delegation, who I cannot name one by one. Also, for the Indonesian delegation who attends to the Steel Dialogue event, Mr. Budi Santoso, Head of Indonesia Economic and Trade Office in Taipei, Secretary of Direktorat General of Metal, Machinery, Transportation Equipment, and Elektronika, Ministry of Industry, Director of International Industrial Access, Ministry of Industry, Director of Access to Industrial Resources and International Promotion, Minister of Industry, Director of Industrial Resilience and Business Climates, Minister of Industry, Head of Center for Formulation, Implementation and Enforcement of Industrial Standardization, Head of Industrial Education and Training Center, Head of State Income Policy Center, Fiscal Policy Agency, Ministry of Finance, Mr. Winky Angga Priyatna, Head of Industry, Indonesia Economic and Trade Office in Taipei, Mr. Widodo Sudatmaji, Executive Director, the Indonesia Iron Steel Industry Association, Chairman of the Indonesia Fastener Association, Mr. Rahman Tamin, and the entire Indonesian delegation. On this good occasion, let us offer thanksgiving to the creation of good Almighty so that we can gather at the event of the third Taiwan Industrial Indonesia Steel Dialogue. I appreciate everyone here to attending this meeting, because even during the pandemic, we can still carry out a dialogue between these two countries with high enthusiasm from the participants who are attending physically or virtually. Of course, the implementation of this event will still pay attention to strict health protocol. Furthermore, I hope this meeting will be the last meeting to be held virtually, considering that the pandemic period is coming to an end. And for future sessions, we can meet face to face to discuss the matter need to strengthen the development of steel production capabilities of the two countries to face competition in the global market. Ladies and gentlemen, I respect the use of steel in various sectors such as construction, transportation, heavy equipment, electronic, defense equipment, and other makes the steel industry strategic and acts as the mother of industry for many other sectors proliferating worldwide. Therefore, the development of the steel industry is vital to developing the global economy. Thus, the steel industry must continue innovating and improving production capabilities as a provider of basic material for its user industry. Based on world steel data, the world's crude steel production in 1991 was 1.95 billion tons, with China as the largest production with a production of 1.03 billion tons, followed by India with the production of 118.24 million tons. On the other hand, Taiwan has only been ranked 12th with a production of 23.23 million tons. Meanwhile, Indonesia has only been ranked in 16th with crude steel production of 14.3 million tons. From this data, we can see that the steel industry in Indonesia still need extensive development to meet the size of the Indonesian market, as Indonesia has a population of more than 270 million, which is considerable hacks. Ladies and gentlemen, I expect after going through various waves and variants of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Indonesia metal industry recorded a growth rate in the third quarter of 2022 at 20.60%, the highest in the past 10 years. The growth rate of the metal industry is increased compared to the second quarter of 2022, which reached 60.79%, and still far above the processing industry growth of 4.83%. Thanks to high investment value and government effort to control steel import, the investment realization in the metal sector amounted to 44 trillion rupiah in quarter 3, 20 and 22, considering 29.94 trillion rupiah in foreign direct investment and 4.06 trillion rupiah through domestic direct investment, an increase of 75.58% 0.08% compared to the third quarter of 1991 of 25.13 trillion of IDR. In achievement of this optimist growth target in 1992, apart from realizing on the capabilities of the national steel industry, it is also necessary to carry out bilateral cooperation with potential partner, one of which is Taiwan. Ladies and gentlemen, I respect Taiwan is a long-time partner with Indonesia. Throughout 20 and 21, Taiwan was the second destination country for Indonesian iron and steel export, clicking 1.47 million ton with a trade value of 2.69 billion USD, which make Taiwan a strategic partner for Indonesia. Cooperation and investment are way to increase added value for the steel industry and its derivative product in Indonesia. Taiwan will increase investment in Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, I respect the steel dialogue is essential for the development of the Indonesia steel industry, with its steel in the state of fulfilling its industrial structure. Moreover, the steel dialogue is a way to improve relationship between Indonesia and Taiwan to get better and more qualified and can produce a more concrete and applicable cooperation framework for the benefit of steel industry of the two countries. Therefore, the steel dialogue can create good thing to build the steel industry in the two countries and solve the problem that hinder development. Finally, I congratulate both countries of the fruitful dialogue and our success. Thank you. Good afternoon. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Widodo, for your encouragement. I think both sides already show the courage and the strength to combat pandemic, and also show our determination to further enhance our steel industry collaboration. So today we're also very honored to have the presence by Mr. Jiang Chen and Mr. Budi Santoso. So first, I would like to invite Ambassador Jiang Chen, representative of Taipei Economy and Trade Office, Indonesia, to say a few words. Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you. 李冠志副局长 Mr. G.J. Lee, Deputy Director General of Bureau of Foreign Trade, Ministry of Economic Affairs, Taiwan. Mr. Lilik Widodo, Director of Metal Industry, Ministry of Industry, Indonesia. Mr. Budi Santoso, Representative, Indonesia Economic and Trade Office to Taipei. Distinguished officials and delegates from both sides. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Selamat siang and happy Thanksgiving. It is a great delight indeed for me to take part virtually in the 5th Indonesia-Taiwan dialogue on steel industry. From the outset, I would like to say that this dialogue has been playing a very positive role in helping the steel industries in our two countries to strengthen bilateral trade, bolster investment, form stronger industrial ties, and create a win-win situation. One of the best results can be seen in the bilateral trade last year. Indonesia exported 20% of its total stainless steel products to Taiwan, equivalent to $800 million. As for investment, despite the global pandemic, Taiwanese steel manufacturers still invested handsomely in Indonesia. Among them is Huaxin Dihua. Huaxin Dihua invested in the stainless steel production line in Central Sulawesi, and so far it has injected $178 million last year, and another $79 million this year. I'm honored to be able to witness the stable growth and dynamics stimulated by this steel dialogue. And I am glad to see the momentum and synergy of our bilateral cooperation stemming from the dialogue. I certainly hope that the fifth steel dialogue held today will gather greater momentum so that we will see more fruitful results in the future. My so saying, I wish every one of you good health and great success, and I trust that you will benefit greatly from this meeting. 谢谢, thank you, terima kasih.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Jiang Chen. And it also gives me the privilege to invite Mr. Budi Santoso, representative of IATO, to say a few words. Thank you, Mr. Santoso.
Thank you. Yang saya hormati Pak Lili Widodo, Director of Metal Industry, Ministry of Industry of Indonesia. Mr. Ji Lee, Deputy Director General of Bureau of Foreign Trade, Ministry of Economic Affairs of Taiwan, Mr. Johnson, representative of the Taipei Economic and Trade Office in Jakarta. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. First of all, I would like to deliver my highest appreciation for Taiwan as the host in arranging the fifth steel dialogue. I also would like to thank all participants, both from Indonesia and Taiwan, who have attended the fifth steel dialogue. This event is a means of collaboration in the industrial sector, especially in the steel industry between Indonesia and Taiwan, which has been going on since 2017. This meeting is an event for steel industry stakeholders, including businesses players, industry associations, academic from both Indonesia and Taiwan to exchange ideas, experiences, expertise, information, and others, and jointly find solutions for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, Indonesia and Taiwan have a lot of potential to be able to collaborate, especially in terms of increasing the industrial capacity of the two sides. Indonesia is the foremost populous country in the world with abundant natural resources and is included in the 20 largest economy in the world. I am very pleased to inform you that Indonesia has successfully hosted various series of G20 meetings in 2020 with fruitful results. Furthermore, around 70% of Indonesia's population is now at a productive age, where the improvement in the quality of human resources is also getting better and continues to improve. This is proof from Indonesia's Global Talent Competitiveness Index in 2022, which rose to rank 82 from previously ranked 90 in 2015. So I believe Indonesia will be able to become a very strong partner for Taiwan in terms of increasing industrial and economic capacity, especially in the ASEAN region. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, over the past 5 years, Taiwan's investment value in Indonesia has been $1.34 billion. The basic metal product, not machinery and equipment industry sector is the dominant sector that contributing 31%. Moreover, we hope that Taiwan's investment in the steel industry sector in Indonesia will increase in the future, especially for downstream processing and have higher added value. Meanwhile, the total value of trade between Indonesia and Taiwan in 2021 for steel product is $2.94 billion. As the 2022 until October, the total trade value has been $2.53 billion, an increase of 6.41% in the same period in 2021. These figures show a positive sign of the strengthening the collaboration in the steel industry sector between Indonesia and Taiwan. In this difficult time, I believe that all parties must strengthen cooperation. International cooperation is not only interpreted by increasing investment and opening market access. However, international cooperation can be carried out through opening access to industrial resources such as technology transfer, human resource capacity development, and so on. In addition, the opening access the global production network is also very important, so that the Indonesian and Taiwanese steel industries can jointly access a much wider market. Ladies and gentlemen, to this moment, Indonesia and Taiwan have maintained a good relationship, especially in terms of economic cooperation in the industrial sector, as seen from the existence of various economic forums and dialogue in the industrial sector that have been ongoing for the past few years. I hope in this swift steel dialogue, Indonesia and Taiwan can produce solutions and concrete steps that can be implemented in the near future. Therefore, both sides are able to complement each other and collaborate to encourage economic growth. Finally, the Indonesian Economic and Trade Office in Taipei will continue to facilitate cooperation between Indonesia and Taiwan in various fields, including the steel industry sector. Thank you, CC.
Terima kasih, Mr. Santoso. So now I would like to suggest, I think all the VIPs, government official, and also the participant of the private sector kindly open up the camera. So let's have a group photo.
把他们两个的丁选取消，把他们的丁选取消，取消丁选，对，精准聚焦，然后它就会全部都打开，这样子。对，右边这个问题参与者这个名字上比较空。
Now, I would like to invite everyone to smile. Let's have a good token of memory for this fifth steel dialogue between Indonesia and Taiwan. Thank you, everyone. Okay. I say 1, 2, 3, cheers. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So, first of all, I would like to proceed to the next topic on the agenda, adoption of today's meeting's agenda. Since this agenda already been discussed previously by Ministry of Industry Indonesia and Ministry of Economic Affairs Taiwan side. So can I invite Mr. Widodo to adopt this agenda right now? Okay, thank you. So agree. So let's move to the first topic of today's discussion. It's current development of Indonesia and Taiwan's economy and steel industry. So I would like to invite Taiwan side, the Taiwan Steel and Iron Industry Association, to give a 20-minute presentation about the Taiwan's economy and also the current steel industries and the collaboration between Indonesia and Taiwan. Then followed by Indonesia Iron and Steel Industry Association, also have another 20 minutes of presentation. So before that, okay, Mr. Widodo, also let me quickly mention today's participant from Taiwan side. So we have the Mr. Zhang from the Industrial Development Bureau, Government of Taiwan. And we also have the Mr. Alex Shen from the Taiwan Steel and Iron Industry Association. We have a Vice President, Mr. Chen from China Steel Corporation, CSC. We have a Vice President Shea from the Huaxin Lihua Corporation. We have a Vice President Yang from Yehui Enterprise. We have a Deputy General Manager Fang from Ye United Steel. We also have Mr. Yi from the Chonghong Steel Corporation, and colleagues from Bureau of Foreign Trade, and also Mr. Jack Xiao, the Deputy Representative of Economic Division, Taipei Economic and Cultural Office, Indonesia, and his colleagues. So that's the participant from Taiwan side. So now I give the floor to Mr. Alex Shen of TDI to give a presentation. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Madam, I'm full-time specialist from Taiwan Steel and Iron Industry Association. I'm going to make a presentation about current development of Taiwan's economy and steel to you. The slide contains three parts: economic performance, the steel market, and steel trade with Indonesia. The first part includes 5 topics: GDP performance, monitoring indicators, industrial production index, unemployment rates, trade overview, and trade with Indonesia. About GDP performance, the GDP growth rate in the third quarter of 2022 was 4.1%, which was 0.61% lower than the forecast in August 2022, and mainly due to the commodity exports lower than expected. Primary consumption grew by 7.49%, which was 1% higher than August, mainly due to the government has promoted local travel and loosened epidemic prevention measures, and also the low base caused by the strict epidemic prevention last year is one of the reasons too. Government consumption grew by 2.35%, an increase of 2.06% from August, mainly due to the increase in the purchase of anti-epidemic materials. About monitoring indicators, in September 2022, the monitoring indicator score of the economic countermeasure signals 17 points, a decrease of 6 points from the previous month. And the signal turns yellow-blue, which means from stable turns into sluggish. And the leading and continuing indicators of the economic climate were declining, showing that the economic is slowing down, affected by the global inflationary Russia and Ukraine war and the monetary policies of major countries. The global economics and market demand has weakened. Industrial trend keep adjusting inventories, causing stock price index, manufacturing sales value index, and business climate index fell in September. About the industrial production index, despite the slowing down in global economic growth, the decline in demand for end products, and the inventory adjustment of the industrial chain, the industrial production index from January to September still reached 133.695, an increase of 3.29% over the same period last year. The manufacturing industry, which accounts for the largest proportion, is still maintained a growth of 3.42%. Since the downside risk of global economic is intensifying, we believe that the manufacturing index in October will continue to decline, with a decrease of 2 to 5%. However, the manufacturing index is still expected to maintain growth this year. Our unemployment rates. The unemployment rate was stable in the past 12 months until September, and due to the end of the graduation season and the unblocking of border business opportunities in October, the demand for manpower in the service industry will increase. It is estimated that the unemployment rate should continue to decline from October to December. And we move on to the trade overview. About the export from January to October increased by about $43.5 billion, which is 12% higher compared with the same period last year, and still increased about $6 million plus 6%. And the steel products increased by 1.4 billion plus 19%. And about imports from January to October increased about $52.7 billion, which 17% higher compared with the same period last year, and still decreased by $9 million, minus 9%. And steel products increased by about $5 million, which plus 24%. And then we look at the trade data with Indonesia. The export from January to October increased by around $255 million, which plus 10% compared with the same period last year, and still increased about $23 million, which plus 12%. And steel products increased by approximately $5 million, which plus 14%. And about the import from January to October increased by $342 million compared with the same period of the previous year, and still increased about $130 million, which was 6%, and steel products increased about $192 million, which was 1,072%. So you can see that the trade between Taiwan and Indonesia keep deepening. Then we move on to the second part in the three topics: apparent consumption of crude steel, and apparent consumption of finished steel, and also the downstream demand forecast. About the apparent consumption of crude steel in 2021, due to the recovery of demand, various industries drove a substantial increase and expect to return to normal levels in 2022. Crude steel consumption is 27.75 million metric tons in 2021, and we estimated that will drop by 10% to 25.01 million metric tons in 2022. And this page shows about the production, import, export, and consumption about glass steel products. So we divide them into plate, hot roll, cold roll, and the GI. And all the apparent consumption in 2022 are expected to be lower than 2021. And this page shows about the same data about long steel products. So we also divide them into bar, wire rod, and rebar, section, and pipe. And you can see that expect rebar, all the apparent consumption in 2022 are expected to be lower than last year. And this page shows about the production, import, export, and consumption about stainless steel. We divide them into stainless hot roll, stainless cold roll, and stainless bar and wire rod. And the apparent consumption also expected to be lower than last year. Then we move on to downstream demand forecast. Affected by the weakened consumer demand and inventory adjustment in the industrial chain, industry's lower capacity utilization ratio. In addition, global economic outlook is consolidated, and industry cost investment in equipment. On the other hand, the base period in 2021 is relatively high. So the production performance of most downstream industry will turn into a recession in 2022. Due to the geopolitical tensions, factors such as inflationary and interest rate will still affect the global market demand. So although it will turn into growth in 2023, but the growth rate, we believe that will be limited. So you can see that the presentation that shows our metal product and the motor and vehicle product. And the next page shows about machinery and equipment, petroleum and coal and construction products. And the next page is about the food, beverage, and computers, electronic, optical products. So the final part includes 3 topics about import from Indonesia, export to Indonesia, and related investment in Indonesia. Indonesia is Taiwan's 4th steel importers countries. Import value is around $2.4 billion in 2021 and predict to decrease to $2.2 billion in 2022. But when we look at the import weight, in 2021, the import weight is around 1.3 million metric tons. And we predict that the import weight will stay on the same level in 2022. And Indonesia is also our 17th export market. Export value is around $213 million in 2021. And predict to decrease 3% down to $206 million in 2022. And export weight in 2021 is around 0.2 million metric tons, and predict to decrease 4% and down to 0.19 million metric tons in 2022. And This is the recent investment in Indonesia. So you can see that there was a PT Washer Nickel Industrial Indonesia and PT Sunny Metal Industry and PT Westron Metal Industry. And you can see that their locations on the map. And those investments in Indonesia mainly focus on nickel, which used to produce battery and stainless steel. Okay, my presentation is over. Thank you for your patience. Okay,
thank you very much. Mr. Widodo, I think there's some conclusions, as you can see from the presentations. So this year, 2022, still shows a positive growth in terms of the bilateral trade with Indonesia, and also in terms of our Taiwan's domestic demand and the consumption of the steel products. However, the speed of the increase in comparison with the year 2021 also slowed down a little bit. So facing next year, 2023, also due to lots of uncertainties about the global demand, about the geopolitical situation, about the inflations. So we still take a very cautiously optimistic forecast about the steel industry development in the year 2023. So now I would like to give the floor to Mr. Widodo, and you can invite Indonesian Iron and Steel Industry Association also give a 20 minutes presentation. Thank you. Or may I invite representative of the Indonesian Iron and Steel Industry Association to give the presentation?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cicili.
Thank you, please.
Yang saya hormati Bapak Lili Widodo, the Director of Basic Metal Industry, Ministry of Industry, Bapak Budi Santoso, Representative of IUTO, all participants from Taiwan and Indonesia, good afternoon. Again, thank you very much, Mr. Cicili, for giving us the opportunity to present the current development of Indonesia's steel industry. Can we move to the next page, please? So I will brief you and give you the information on first the updated of Indonesia's steel supply and demand. Then I will also briefly discuss the Indonesia import, especially from Taiwan. On the third part of my presentation, I will discuss the recent development of steel investment in Indonesia and also in ASEAN countries, because it is important also to know what are the developments surrounding Indonesia steel industry. Then I will discuss the updated on steel industry challenges and potential collaboration, because we actually already also presented the proposal on the potential collaboration on the fourth meeting between Indonesia and Taiwan. Then I will draw some remarks on my end of presentation. Next page, please. So as you can see on the screen that Indonesia steel demand start to recover after the COVID-19. We see the signal of positive growth. If you see the production and the export continue to grow, especially because of the stainless steel and plate production. And if you see also the import portion, the import also increase. And if you compare with the domestic growth, the increase is higher. So meaning it is the threat actually to the domestic production. And if we see only for 2020 and compare to 2020, then we can see that Indonesia apparent steel consumption slightly increased by 2.6. And if we look at the import also increased by 15.8. But it is, however, if we look at the capacity utilization, the capacity utilization of Indonesia steel industry is very, very low. It is only around 55%. So we still basically have the problem with low utilization due to the high import coming to the countries. Next slide, please. Joseph, can we move to the next slide? Okay, if we look at the import from Taiwan, so we can see that in the recent years, especially if we look at 2018 and now 2020, there is a decrease of the import from Taiwan. So it is almost half of 2018. The import for 2020 is only 208. And if you compare with 2018, the import is around 400,000 tons. So the Taiwan actually is the 5th largest exporter of steel product to Indonesia after the China, Japan, South Korea, and Vietnam. Certainly, Taiwan is one of the important trading partners for Indonesia, especially in the area of steel industry. Next, please. And it is important also to discuss the investment, the development of the investment in Indonesia steel industry and ASEAN. If you see on the screen, you can note that there are many investments. In Indonesia, there are at least now 5 big investments undergoing. If we look at Malaysia, there are also 5 investments, big investment. The capacity is very big. So if we look at the overall investment in the ASEAN region, then we can conclude actually there will be soon a big excess capacity in ASEAN as well as potentially in Indonesia. But it is interesting that the excess capacity is actually not on every type of product, not on every sector of steel. We evaluate that there are actually several investment opportunities in Indonesia steel industry, such as in the cold roll steel product, the special steel product, silicon steel, alloy steel, and maybe also in some other sectors. But unfortunately, that we haven't seen any investment from Taiwan to Indonesia. Next, Pak Yosef. So we ISIA actually already identified and proposed some potential cooperation between Indonesia and Taiwan when we have the similar meeting last year at October. Unfortunately, that there is no follow-up on the potential of the cooperation that we identified. So we would like to update it, several opportunities for the cooperation between Taiwan and Indonesia steel industry. First, we still see there are many opportunities for the investment, especially on the special steel, the silicon steel, special steel, and others. Then we also see there are opportunities that we can cooperate, especially on the sustainable operation that are potentially can be carried out by Indonesia and Taiwan steel industry. Next, please. So In conclusion, first, Taiwan is certainly important steel trading partner. Second, unfortunately, there are still limited investment from Taiwan to Indonesia steel industry. And also, unfortunately, there are limited follow-up on the result of the discussion that we already carry out during the fourth Indonesia-Taiwan Steel Dialogue and the previous dialogue. We note that we need to further discuss how to improve the collaboration between the two countries, the two steel industry. We need to increase the information exchange and discuss the potential cooperation further. We need also to formulate the joint partnership program to increase the cooperation between both of steel industry. Indonesia and Taiwan need also to form the joint team. We believe that we need to form the joint team of working groups to be able to follow up efficiently and effectively the result of the discussion between Indonesia and Taiwan. And the joint team, the working group, need to be developed, need to develop the detailed program activity and monitor the implementation and realization to be reported to both government. I think that's all my presentation. Thank you, Mr. Jijili.
Thank you very much for this very comprehensive presentation. Now I'd like to invite Mr. Widodo. You have any comment for this? Or... Mr. Widodo, you have any further comment about the presentation by Indonesian Iron and Steel Industry Association?
Yeah.
Something more you'd like to let us know?
No, we may proceed. We have no comment.
Before that, okay, I just have a quick response to the closing remarks by the Indonesian Iron and Steel Industry Association. Thank you. I think you already touched upon the follow-up issues about this steel dialogue mechanism. I think that is also the very purpose we established this dialogue a few years ago, because we think to enhance the discussion interactions among the public and the private sectors of both sides were extremely helpful for industrial cooperation. However, I think that, due to the pandemic, the outbreak of pandemic, that also restrict the interaction and the mutual visits, and also some cooperation programs can be designed and implemented by both sides. So I recall last year, we also have one of the conclusions to set up the interim body or some small groups to follow up the issues and also enhance the information sharing and exchange. I think that also due to the pandemic, and that also restrict the common official of both sides and steel industries, business people, business leaders can have the face-to-face opportunities to directly discuss all the possible arrangement. So I would say next year, right now, of Taiwan side, we're confident about the situation next year because of the border restriction measures has been removed. And I think the Indonesian side also welcome the foreign visitors and foreign investors. Taiwan side, we also already prepared to embrace more incoming passengers and the business travelers. So next year, probably both sides, if Mr. Widodo agrees, so we can further discuss how can find a better way to follow up all the conclusions that we reached today. Thank you. Mr. Widodo, you have any comment about this topic?
Selamat siang Bapak Widodo, saya Lida di Taipei. Saya akan membantu menerjemahkan dari ketua acara hari ini. Apakah Bapak Widodo ada yang disampaikan kepada pihak Taiwan?
Ibu, mohon maaf ini Widodonya banyak di Indonesia ini.
Maaf, izin Pak, kepada Bapak Lilik Widodo, apakah Bapak ada memberikan sekedar komentar atas apa presentasi yang telah disampaikan? Pihak Taiwan menunggu komentar dari Bapak. Terima kasih Bapak.
Mr. Widodo, please unmute.
Oke, thank you very much. Jadi Pak Wid, makasih Pak Wid. Jadi apa yang disampaikan Pak Wid tadi bahwa tentu kerjasama yang semakin erat, bahwa ada hal-hal yang setelah ini harus kita diskusikan, di mana kita perlu ada forum-forum tidak lanjut yang bisa menjembatani pengusaha-pengusaha kita. Itu harus kita cari wadahnya supaya kerjasama ekonomi, kerjasama antar industri besi baja Indonesia dan Taiwan bisa lebih erat lagi untuk pertumbuhan industri baja kita semuanya yang semakin menguntungkan. Sekarang itu kita perlu mendorong kerjasama B2B antara teman-teman asosiasi industri besi baja Taiwan dan asosiasi besi baja di Indonesia itu bisa terus membina hubungan dan bisa menumbuhkan kerjasama yang lebih baik lagi, terutama saling menanamkan investasi baik di Taiwan maupun di Indonesia. Terima kasih, begitu komentar kami.
Bapak, saya minta izin untuk menerjemahkan ke dalam bahasa Mandarin kepada rekan-rekan Taiwan。就是从印尼方那边，就是希望说，就是接下来可以透过工作小组或者一些会议，我们就可以继续持续的讨论，就是接下来两国的合作。那他也希望就是说，我们就可以透过那个 B2P 的那个合作来建立双方的合作。无论是那个台湾的这边的那个台湾钢铁工会，或者是印尼钢铁的协会，那希望以后我们就可以就是一起合作，然后接下来就是双方就可以有投资的机会。谢谢，terima kasih。
Terima kasih Pak Widodo. Okay. So,
terima kasih juga. Thank you, 谢谢。
谢谢。So, can we move to the next topic about the some issue about the mutual concerns? So the first one is the impacts of the Indonesian tariff on imported steel products, especially the products from Taiwan. So on this topic, first I would like to mention that since Indonesia and Taiwan maintain a very close steel industry trade relations. However, due to the lack of the trade agreement, either the free trade agreement or the partial trade agreement, so right now all the steel products imported from Taiwan to Indonesia now face the I think the relatively unfavorable competitions. So we understand that there's a huge potential about the Indonesian market, the population dividend, and also the faster growing middle class, and also very stable economic development. So lots of demand on the infrastructure and also the manufacturing, including the automobile industries. So there will be a very foreseen demand for the high-end steel products. So right now, Taiwan also manufacture and also can supply these high-end and also the specially custom-made products for the different use of the steel industry. So we would like to see any possible solutions that government of Indonesia can lower the import tariff on steel products from Taiwan. And through this, we can let the high quality Taiwanese steel products also be utilized by Indonesian manufacturers to further enhance the industry competitiveness of Indonesia and also strengthen the bilateral steel industry cooperation. So quickly, I will invite, I think the three representatives from Taiwan's side, from the private sector, also just highlight, I think, the points they're going to make. So the first one, I would like to invite the Taiwan Steel and Iron Industry Association. Okay, then I invite Huaxin Lihua, the representative of Huaxin Lihua. Vice President Nelson Shea.谢副总，你有听到吗？ Hello， 谢副总，你有听到吗？ So probably Vice President Shea is offline. So now I would like to invite the representative from the CSC China Steel Corporation, Vice President Chen.
So, good afternoon, gentlemen. And about this issue, I think we have been discussing this issue for several times. And we have expressed the concerns about the tariff issues. And we hope Indonesia government can provide alternative tax relief, which could benefit both sides, industry